Alright, so we're going to get ready to do a differential. We're going to do the center diff, and we're going to be doing both back and front diffs. I'm going to take that out and change the cups. So you see that in a little bit later, but that's the center. Alright, pop that guy out. Take the original one out, which is just a solid diff, and put the other diff, the new one, in, and push everything back in. If you took it out the way I was showing you in my other video, you should have nothing else to change. So you put the 4 screws back in. That diff is in. Hard part really is putting it back into the chassis. I'd say that both yokes, depending on if you're doing both front and back, you'd probably be taking a skid plate out. But once you have the skid plates out, it's easy. But if you're doing it from the top like that, it's really hard to align your scrub screws. Or your grub screws, sorry. Okay, so we got the front and the back. Slip those both into place. And then it's secured from the bottom. But I ended up doing both, the front and back, so I had to take everything out. So I'm going to do the whole skid plate, and once that's removed, you'll be able to see the center diff and both of the yokes. Okay, clean that up. There's quite a bit of junk and gunk stuck into the bearings. Alright, so I'm going to continue on with that skid plate. And once that's off, diffs should come out quite easy. Like I said, that's where you can see the center diff. Once you take that out, it floats in there. So I was worried about the yokes falling out again. There, I'm just cleaning up things. There's a lot of little screws you want to make sure to keep the separated from the rest. These are very specific. You don't want longer than you need because it's going to cause problems in the long run. So you have the 2 other screws there. That's holding the front diff, and the exact same ones on the back for the back diff. The whole differential and servo, I guess, servo saver comes out there in the front, and do the yokes with the grub screw. So the only thing holding that is one long screw side to side. Once you get that out, they slide out quite easy. Is it that one? No, it's the back one that I had a hard time with. There was a mount, I guess, for a shock tower. It's not a shock tower. I forget what the mount was for. But it was holding both the differential cases together, which made it quite hard to get at. So now we got the diff. I'm going to take this guy apart. I didn't pack them in this one. I did later. I needed to get some differential fluid. But for here, we're just going to be taking out the axle. From there, we're going to put in the diff cups. Put another piece of that spider gear back on with the retaining pin. And both are exactly the same, front and back or side to side. Just got to make sure when you put it back that the seals are in place, because it's going to get quite messy if you do fill the diffs. Alright, once you're in, the bottom one has 3 teeth that lock it into place so it doesn't slide side to side. The top one's a little bit harder to get into because you got to line everything up. Once that's in there, the screw should drop right in, and you have 3 going straight through. Yeah, it took a while to get accustomed to what side to do. I'd hold one and the other one would pop out. So you got to pretty much place the screws in. You drive maybe 2 of them in, and from there do a cross pattern to tighten them to make sure everything is sealed. So they slide right back in over the bearing. Put the housing back on. That long screw straight through. Now our diff should be good to put to the side and not have to worry about it falling apart again. And that's the back one. Back one, same thing, and screw that out. I'm going to pull out that one spider gear, put the diff cup in, and it all goes in. But don't do like I did. Make sure you're prepared and you do have your diff fluids, so that way you don't have to take it apart twice. You can do it one shot. From what I read for the Rally VXL, there is 30 in back, 50 up front, and 50 in the center from what the manual is. So when I replaced everything, I want it to be like it was when I bought it, so I stayed with the same. Alright, that housing's back together, and that right there are the 4 little pieces you have left once you're done. Alright, so you put that center piece back in, a long screw, and everything is there. Oh, that's what that was. That was a piece to, I guess, mount the steering, a servo saver. Took a while to get those diffs in, but once the yokes fell into place, everything wasn't too bad. The thing is, once you get it in, you gotta screw that the grub screw right away, or else they keep falling out. So I fiddled around with this one for a while to get it, but finally got that done. Back was a lot easier. Just pushed it in and screws, locked it into place, and that's pretty much it. We have the front, the back, and the center diff done. My next video, we should see the rest of the build.